Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 271 of the Chumpcast. You'll notice that it's just Mark and I rolling solo this week. Brick is tapped out. That's okay. We have his bad draft picks. But we're here to talk about all the Disney nonsense
He's
that
playing
happened this week.
Battlefield, for sure.
Yeah, I assume so, yeah, because it came out, yesterday?
Yeah.
Did it just come out yesterday?
He has been playing it nonstop, I'm sure.
I mean,
Came out like 3 days ago, I think.
I think it came out. I feel like he said it Friday. It doesn't matter, but I get that because had I not quit my job, I was going to take off last Friday because that was the early access release date for Forza 5. So I get that. Like I want to play that nonstop. That's what I want to do, and I will use a vacation day or a sick day to do that.
Well, now it sounds like you have another week, don't you? to
I
play
don't
Forza?
know.
Potentially another week.
I'm unemployed. I'm currently unemployed between jobs because for some reason my parents decided they were going to name me the most common name on the history of just like central Illinois.
Colonial America.
And I know I've told this story before, but it's kind of how like there's so many Johnsons and everything. You know, when you came through Ellis Island or when the government decided you were going to have a last name, it was Smith or Johnson or Davis.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is now. So thanks, Grandpa Hawk. Anyways,
So did you even say your background check for your next job is still pending, right?
so that's what I'm waiting on, and it's stuck and hung up in the Cook County system. Surprise, surprise. Which is normally so efficient, but it must be the pandemic.
It's funny that you instantly go to the excuse of having a common name when realistically maybe you have something on that background check.
I passed a really thorough background check 6 months ago
Yeah, right.
because I only had this job for 6 months, didn't work out.
Maybe on the background check they actually look at like social media and they're like, has a podcast called the Chumpcast.
God, I hope not.
Trumpcast. What is this?
I have never told anyone I've worked with that I do this.
No.
And I've always
absolutely not.
wondered if anybody like knew or found out.
Maybe.
Most of the people I worked with were older until I took this last job. It's going to come out at some point,
Yeah, but they're going to listen to the first 10 minutes of our episodes and be like, nope, and turn it off.
and then I'll get
So
fired.
they'll never know what we say.
Do you think we'll ever stop doing this?
Eventually, when we die.
Like 2 weeks from now?
Until then, yeah, I don't know.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, so I'm unemployed. It feels kind of great. Even when you're on vacation, you always know that you're coming home to more bullshit.
Feels kind of great. It feels great, I'm sure.
Well, it doesn't feel super great because, I'm not making any money.
You don't like not having an income.
That kind of makes sense, right? Like my wife is a stay-at-home mom and I'm the breadwinner, so like I should be making money. Anyways, doesn't matter. I'm lucky to potentially be employed and maybe it'll work out or I'll just starve.
You should have somehow gotten your last job to fire you, and then you should have set up unemployment so that you could have got paid for these 2 weeks where they're checking your background check.
I definitely could have gotten fired from that place.
Yeah,
There were a lot of things that I wanted to say to a lot of people that I didn't say. I said some of them in the exit interview, but anyways, I wish all of them the best if they happen to stumble across this podcast for whatever god awful reason.
Well, here on the bright side, your question prior was, are we ever going to stop doing this? I mean, if you never get a job, we're never going to stop technically. So,
Well, I will have to
look forward to.
I'll have to hawk all of our podcast equipment at some point.
Yeah.
We can get like $50 on that mixer.
We'll just start screaming at the camera mic instead. We won't have actual mics.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm cool with that too.
Great. We will keep doing this show because no longer will we get dislike votes. Or no. Sorry. Let me rephrase. We will still get the dislikes, but no one else will be able to see them.
Nobody can see the dislikes now.
That's what matters. To be frank, as pissed off as everyone is about this, I kind of get it.
Yeah, I get it because there's really no, unless I'm completely missing something, I don't think there's any other type of social media where there is a dislike button. There's a downvote on Reddit.
Yeah,
okay?
and you have like the angry face on Facebook, I guess. But
Facebook, no. I mean, you can always comment
But when
if
it's-
you're unhappy with somebody's content.
when it's binary good, bad, yeah, you're right. It's Reddit and YouTube.
I do get, I do get why YouTube. Their reasoning was because of like the dislike mob that will come in.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like people will just jump on the bandwagon really quickly, and it shows. Like there's sometimes I watch a video, I'm like, this wasn't that bad, but once dislikes start going, sometimes people are like, yeah, fuck this guy. Just like,
It's mob mentality. Yeah. Well, we've been attacked by groups of up to 3 people in the past.
Yeah.
So
we've never had like more than 10 likes on a video, but we've had like
That's
3
not
before,
true.
and that was just like, oh God, who's doing this?
that's not true. We've had some videos with like 15, 20,000 views.
Podcast episode wise, we've never had that many. Like, I mean, actually, our podcast views have, if you look back to months ago, we weren't getting really any traction, but we're gaining more subscribers, thankfully, and that equates to hopefully likes near term. But yeah, it's our other videos were getting more traction because we didn't do too much stuff on YouTube before.
We should do more. We always say that. Nobody cares. I'm streaming more Forza. I
Yeah.
started streaming Forza last night.
You guys need to follow us on Twitch if you're not.
I had a lot of fun doing it, honestly, and I know that it won't shock anyone to hear that I can talk for 2 hours straight because that's kind of my thing. But the idea that I was able to talk consistently for 2 hours about cars while I played this dumb game and sat there you walked in and you gave me this look like, what the fuck are you doing here? I don't really blame you. It's a weird thing to see. But at least I'm not like, Cheeto dust covered, sitting way back and just like clacking away.
Yet. Once you don't get that job, you will become that guy.
That's scary.
Sorry if I just spoke that into
I'm sorry.
existence.
Weren't you the one that was messaging people in the Discord this week saying that you're getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh?
I might. I don't know. I've been thinking about it. Honestly, all right, I've been out the game for like 10 years. I was
Been
pretty,
out the Yu-Gi-Oh game for
I was
10 years.
I was pretty deep into it. Actually, it's been more. It's got to be like 11.
Wow.
It's got to No,
Wow.
it's got to be more. Wait,
How
when
do
did
you
I get
even
into
remember?
Yu-Gi-Oh? Maybe 2005? Shit, it's been 15 years, I'm sure.
I have
Don't
no
doubt
clue.
me, dude. I think
I've
it's
never watched any Yu-Gi. I don't know anything about it.
All right. Well, it's very competitive, and I'm starting to watch these YouTube videos, and it's just it's gotten so complex. You can collect Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's not as big as, in my opinion, it's not as big as a collectible
Building
card.
a deck.
It's not as big as a collectible card as Pokemon is. Like,
Okay.
you can just get away with collecting Pokemon. You never have to play that game in your life.
Well, a lot of people, Mark, get rich trading silver instead of gold.
You know what? It's not Yu-Gi-Oh, though. You don't have super rares, ultra rares. You don't have that shit in gold.
That's what I mean, though. Is let Pokemon be the gold. You can still get rich
Yeah.
trading silver.
I just like Yu-Gi-Oh better, and I'm trying to actually build a deck, hopefully, but it's getting to the point where I've watched maybe a couple of hours worth of YouTube videos on people trying to explain where we're at currently in Yu-Gi-Oh, and I might
Where
not
we are
I might
in
not
Yu-Gi-Oh lore.
I might not get into it. It's just gotten to the point where I'm like, all right, this is I'm way in over my head trying to get into this right now.
I don't know what to say because
You
like
never gotten into it, right? You're the Pokemon era.
I know literally nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh. I was much more of a Pokemon guy. By the way, I found some more of my old Pokemon cards. The Charizard still has not showed up, but I swear to God, it's somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm going to find it. I don't know if it's first edition. It probably isn't, but it's probably worth something.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll find it.
Yeah, your Pokemon phase was most likely the age I was at when I was in my Yu-Gi-Oh phase. So I was very aware of like my collecting. When I was collecting Pokemon, I was young, man. Like I was having these older kids talk me into trading them my fucking my Venusaur for their Gyarados that they got in the starter deck. Like I was a dumbass. But once you get older, you really start wanting to play and collect and keep shit in mint condition. That was how Yu-Gi-Oh was for me. So a lot of my older cards, like I think back to like, oh damn, like I remember when I had this card and like I was trading it with this guy and we were playing and all that shit. But yeah, it's very nostalgic. I don't know if I'm going to fully get back into it. We'll see.
He's going to. Don't let him fool you. Have you ordered a Yu-Gi-Oh statue yet?
No. There is one Yu-Gi-Oh statue.
Of course there is.
Of Dark Magician.
I don't
it's
know what
not
that means.
gigantic, but yeah. Maybe one day. We'll see.
My introduction to Pokemon was Nintendo Power, which I stumbled across all my old Nintendo Power magazines. I was down visiting my parents this week because I'm unemployed, And yeah, I found some of my old magazines. I had old like Street Rod magazines and Nintendo Power. And that was my introduction to Pokemon. I had to have a Game Boy Color before it even came out, and I remember going to the store the day that Pokemon came out, and I bought my copy of Red, and
Yeah.
that was it.
I didn't even, to be honest, I didn't know that Pokemon was the first type of whatever media that came out of that franchise was video games, wasn't it? I thought it was always trading cards. I thought they created the trading cards, and that's what got the whole franchise moving.
I mean, either way, it's smart, being able to branch out and just corner all of the nerd markets.
Yeah. So it was video games first, and then was it trading cards, and then the show?
I believe so. It was definitely the show. Definitely came after the cards
last.
and the shit. But
The show was super iconic, though. Out of any type of trading card,
dude, that intro
video
song.
game,
If anybody within 10 years of my age, 10 years under my age range can sing the entire song.
Speaking of like a nostalgic factor, waking up before going to school, they used to play that. They used to have those episodes on at like 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yep.
And I would watch two of them or one or two of them and just be like ready to go. Ready to go.
My dad would walk down every morning and he'd see me sitting there eating cereal, watching the
Fruity
stupid
Pebbles,
cartoon, the stupid Japanese cartoon that he didn't understand, and he'd just shake his head as he trudged off to work a 10-hour day to support my stupid habits.
And he's low-key just like kind of hitting it. He's like, damn, this fucking beat goes off.
I don't think that's what he was feeling at the time.
No one ever was.
I don't think that's what he was feeling, but I could be wrong. Is there anything else we need to bullshit about before we move on to the news?
Was there? Oh yeah, let's talk about your Forza stream. How did that go the other day? That was your first time streaming on Twitch, just playing a video game by yourself in a while. I feel like, right?
It's been a while for sure, and I don't like if I play a shooter, I'm not as engaged, and I'm not good at it, and frankly, I'm not really great at Forza either. But
Yeah.
I think where it's different now is that I have actual knowledge about what's happening and why and why the cars act the way that they do and what works and what doesn't and the physics of it. And it's not just something that I understand, but it's also something that interests me, so I'm okay to talk about it.
You can teach the viewers a thing or two.
The most common phrase that I heard from anybody who watched the stream last night was
NOS.
Why do you know that?
Oh.
But yeah, that too.
Does this car have NOS?
And the answer to why do I know that is I don't know. Because I push out actual important information from my brain, and I remember the displacement in liters of engines from cars that haven't been made in 30 years. Wow. Seems useful, right?
Yeah. I'll check you out next time. I was busy the other night, but maybe one day.
Wow, cool. Fuck you, Mark.
When you're streaming this every single day for the next 3 years because you have no job because your background check never went through.
I built Paul Walker's Eclipse GSX, the 95 version.
Can you actually like build the guy that's driving?
You can. They don't give you that many options, but
all right, I got a question for you.
Jesus Christ.
If Forza 5 had, the unlockable content where you got to pay for it.
Yes.
If they're like, hey, this Paul Walker, customizable, you have different outfits for this Paul Walker. You can like give him a different haircut throughout.
As long as he has like the curls, like the Justin Timberlake curls.
He has that option. Would you pay $50 to unlock that character?
Ooh. I would wait for the Steam winter sale.
You would wait. All right, so you would pay $25.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be epic though. Like the OG Paul Walker from like the first movie where he's got the curls.
Azrael, I see you in the chat. Dude, Forza, I know it's a big download size. It's worth it. It's if you care about cars at all, I know I shouldn't recommend this to anybody because like I don't know if anybody cares about cars. I fucking love cars.
Yeah.
I love cars so goddamn much.
It looks like a beautiful game.
It
like
is.
The landscape and the scenery.
If you have Game Pass, there's no reason not to play it. Even just for the visuals, just like throw it up on your TV and go have fun and just fuck around. Who cares?
This is a noob question. Game Pass is Xbox, right?
It is.
Or Microsoft?
Yeah, it's Microsoft, but it doesn't have to be Xbox because you can get it on PC.
What did EA have that we used to sign up for Need for
EA
Speed
Access.
or whatever? Okay. Does that exist anymore?
Yes, and they do still give you free games.
Okay.
I don't use it anymore because that was what I was basically that and one of the Star Wars games.
Yeah.
I was playing on that, but I didn't need it anymore. So
Gotcha.
yeah. All right, let's move on. That's super quiet, but I think we heard it.
Yep.
We're going to talk some trailers, and this is kind of a weird week because we have some trailers that aren't trailers from Disney, but we'll get to that later on. Let's start off with what I think might be my most anticipated movie of the winter.
Okay.
Silent Night looks perfect.
Wow. Okay.
This movie looks incredible. Stars Kiera Knightley. This is a movie where a British family is getting together for Christmas, and apparently they know that the world is going to end, and it's just a super dark comedy about what's going to happen to us and why is this happening, and you've got to explain it to the kids, but also not to the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And Keira Knightley's brother robs a grocery store on the way over to them, and there are no consequences. I love this premise.
So it sounds like they're blaming it on the Russians, like they're taking the easy way out for this plot.
I couldn't so they're very British.
Or was that a joke?
I think that was a joke because somebody else said it's not the Russians, it's blah blah blah, and I couldn't understand what that little British kid was saying.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. I don't know. It is definitely a noxious gas that's being released. I don't know where it's coming from or anything like that. It could just be like COVID, where everybody just claimed to know where it came
is this
from.
Nuclear warfare?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, and it can make for a really funny, dark comedy. And I think the trailer shows that.
That's what I love. I absolutely love the dark comedy. When it's executed properly, it's some of the best comedy that there is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's self-referential. It's campy in the fact that you're kind of rooting for these characters, but also you kind of want to see them die because most of them are shitbags. This is my kind of comedy.
Speaking of dark comedy, it has that little kid from Jojo Rabbit. Is he just going to be the king of dark comedy? He's going to be like, I've been doing this shit since I was 10, motherfuckers.
He's going to be such a fucked up adult.
You know, he might be like a full cast member on SNL.
Oh, man. No, I'm not going to say that out loud. That was a horrible thought. Thoughts on where has Keira Knightley been?
I don't know.
I haven't seen her since like a Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Was she in this trailer?
Yeah. She's like the main character. She's the mom.
Oh yeah, she's I thought that was off first glance I thought it was Natalie Portman. She kind of looks like
oh my
her
God.
a little bit.
You think all white women from England just look the same?
Natalie Portman.
Racist.
Just Natalie Portman.
all day. You a white girl, you Natalie Portman. Oh, all right.
She does though, kind of, I guess.
No, she does not look like Natalie Portman like at all.
Okay, maybe not.
All right.
Yeah, she does. Never. I'm looking at it right now. She does.
Not even close. Mark, Disney Plus celebrated 2 years of its existence on Friday.
Dude, stop for a second. Just look at that. Get the fuck out of here. They look exactly the same.
No.
You know, you're not going to be able to see it, listeners.
I can see this. It's
side to side. Just Google Natalie Portman, Keira Knightley.
okay.
And they have a bunch of people just doing side to side comparisons. They look similar. Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't remember what I was talking about. We're just going to talk about Disney Plus, I guess. They released a bunch of teasers that don't tell you anything, but they just get you enough interested that you're like, fuck, I really want to see that.
Are these all series that they're doing?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Every one of these that was announced is a series, so let's just kind of run through these.
Which would make sense because Disney Plus is never going to just release a movie and make it their own, right? Just say like, this is a Disney Plus exclusive movie. They've done that.
I don't think they would do that. Yeah, I don't think they would do that for a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But I get, well, they're going to do the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
I mean,
so I don't know.
Even though we just had the whole COVID at home, they were releasing things right to Disney Plus. That might not be a bad idea, like down the road.
They're still printing money out of this.
I know. But that might not be a bad idea to be like, hey, you know that next Marvel movie you're waiting to see? We're actually going to release it exclusively on Disney Plus. Right. That would piss off a lot of people.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because most people who don't have Disney Plus would just pirate it.
Yeah.
And Disney would still make more money than normal. I think that if we, for some reason, tomorrow woke up and everything was back to normal, people would still be more reticent to actually go to the theater and see a movie and pay a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
I think that people are now have been exposed to an easier experience at home that's more comfortable for them. And I think that even if we get to a point where COVID doesn't even exist, theaters will not make a full comeback.
Yeah.
So there will always be this hybrid model, at least what we have now.
So you definitely think the AMC stock is inflated right now? As a shareholder, be honest.
I'm not a shareholder.
You're not anymore?
I think legally I would have to disclose that. No, I did have some. I am out. I've been investing in options because I'm an idiot.
Probably not a good question to answer, though, regardless, because you don't want the SEC starting to look into your business when you're trying to get a new job.
Truly do not.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it pops up on the Cook County.
2 shares.
Yeah.
Like, sir, we saw that you bought
I
2
see
shares
that you
of
own
AMC.
$70 of AMC stock.
Trying to get a new job? Denied.
What are you going to do? All right, let's start kind of least exciting to most exciting. Because Baymax is now just kind of a low-level paramedic instead of a superhero guy.
I can't wait for this.
You're a big
Hero 6?
I was about to say big Hero 6. Yeah,
yes.
okay. See, I love that movie too.
Mm-hmm.
They did a show I didn't really get into. This could be good, but it's not. This teaser did not make me excited.
Yeah, it was, of course, trying to be really funny. To us as adults, though, I didn't find it that funny. I don't think you did either.
No.
I do love the characters in this movie. The kid, I can't think of his name. Obviously, Baymax or whatever the hell his name is.
Baymax. The only thing I think about is
Baymax.
what a scumbag place the internet is. Remember that meme that was going around for a while of like the aunt or the mom or whatever in Big Hero 6?
Mm-hmm.
And like it's a scene of her leaning over the counter, and in the actual movie, she was fully covered like with like a crew neck shirt.
Yeah. They did
Somebody
that
edited it to give her cleavage, and just like, what is wrong with you people?
They did it with the B movie too.
Oh my god!
There's always the guy that does it though.
Did you see like it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago? Jerry Seinfeld came out and was talking about how like, yeah, I guess B movie was kind of weirdly sexual.
Yeah, very sexual. And you haven't even seen it. I'm the only one that saw it. And
But
I did
I've seen enough.
review.
I saw the part that you were like, you gotta watch this part,
Yeah.
and that was really all that I needed to know that this was a very sexual movie.
Yeah, it got pretty intense. But can you blame the guys that Photoshop that shit? They always got to give the Pixar characters cabooses, like all the girls, like big doinks.
They don't have to. I don't understand why they do.
They do, though.
Okay.
They do. They don't have to, but they do. So there's naturally going to be that guy that always Photoshops something inappropriate.
Rule 34.
But it's not to say that this wasn't escalated from a prior thought where it's
We should probably just move on at this point.
yeah, this probably isn't a good thing to get into.
We're going to keep going in the order of shit that isn't that exciting. They've announced an Echo show. Echo, if you haven't heard of this character, I don't really blame you because it doesn't really show up very often. It's a Marvel character. It is the adoptive daughter of Kingpin. She's a deaf character, and apparently she's going to make her first appearance in the upcoming Hawkeye show. So what this will be was just a spin-off of that. I don't know how they relate Kingpin into this, or if the rights to him have reverted from Netflix back to Disney, or whatever. I would love to see Vincent D'Onofrio back. I think that would be fucking incredible.
Do you think they're going to stay very true to her abilities that were in the comics, where her name's Echo because she can basically mimic any type of fighting style?
She was like a pianist, right? Like she played the piano.
What'd you say?
A penis?
A pianist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't she some kind of musician?
I don't remember.
I've
never
I
read
read
the comics. I'd read a quick couple articles on this.
I read one of the Daredevil runs where she was a villain, I think, and that's what stood out to me. Anyways, doesn't matter. I don't really care about this.
Yeah.
It's not a character that anybody's going to know. It could be interesting. Maybe there's... I'm not saying that Disney doesn't know what they're doing, because maybe they set this character up in Hawkeye to a point where people are going to love it.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, yes, give me more. So we'll see.
Yeah, to be fully transparent, I'm not really interested in any of these shows that came out.
None of them?
Besides Moon Knight.
All right, I'm going to try and convince you something.
Okay. Miss Marvel? No.
We'll keep going on the least interesting. The Spider-Man freshman year cartoon. This is an animated show, obviously written by Jeff Trammell, who does mostly kids shows. This is aimed at kids.
Yeah.
So we'll
Another one you're
basically
not
just kind of
interested in.
skip it. I mean, there are good Spider-Man kids cartoons.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I really enjoy some of them, but this probably won't be one of them. I'm going to go What If Season 2 next.
Okay.
I finished Season 1. It's not that great.
Okay, so you're not that excited about this one either.
No. Well, I'm more excited about Marvel Zombies, which will be a spinoff from
Yeah.
that one What If episode.
That
Now
would
we're
be-
getting into the stuff that I'm a little bit more excited about. Then we got Ironheart, which is a younger Iron Man ripoff. That's probably not a nice way to say that. Riri Williams takes up the mantle of Iron Man, so she's a young genius who
Yeah.
builds her own suit and idolized Tony Stark and all that. I Am Groot. I don't know what this is
Sorry,
about.
to go back to that.
Go back for it.
Ironheart, character-wise, I'm more interested in Ironheart than, besides Moon Knight, than any of these live-action characters that are getting these series.
Why do you say that?
Well, Ironheart, if they stick to the comics, I'm pretty sure she was from Chicago. Shout out to Shy.
She is.
And I like that they're hopefully, if not bringing Robert Downey Jr., that he'll obviously have some part in this, whether it be his tech. I think it's really cool how she's basically an engineering genius, kind of where she created her own suit. I just like her backstory. I like how she gets tied in with Tony Stark, things of that nature.
How many more geniuses can they throw into this
I
universe?
mean, everyone pretty much is a genius, though.
You just have to be like an interstellar physicist, or
Even the character, you really didn't need to be a genius. You didn't need Bruce Banner to be a genius. He was a genius. I mean,
he's the one that came up with the time travel, though, wasn't he?
yeah.
They're all, anyways. You know, like even Paul Rudd is a genius, like an idiot savant at robbing people. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
whatever. I Am Groot. I don't know what the hell this could possibly be about, except it will definitely be Baby Groot. I don't know if this is going to be Vin Diesel or not.
It's going to be about Groot being Groot. He's going to be I Am Groot.
Okay. Great.
I think so. Is it going to be, are there going to be multiple Groots? Are they going to have
don't
a
know.
great voice cast?
Well, wouldn't they all just be Vin Diesel? I don't know.
Maybe they're going to
In the
diversify.
comics, they all came from Planet X, and I think Groot was like the king, and that's what I remember from like the 2010 run of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is when he got pretty big. Doesn't matter.
What if this show was sound-wise, they just would always say I am Groot, but they would have subtitles translating what they actually meant? How annoying but funny kind of would that be?
That would not bother me because I watch everything with subtitles anyways.
Yeah. But you would constantly be hearing I am Groot all the time.
That might be confusing. It's like when somebody says red, but they show you yellow, and you have to pick one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. That would suck.
It's just a thought.
More interesting, getting slightly more interesting. Agatha, House of Harkness.
Okay.
Did you like that character?
She was okay.
I love Catherine Hahn.
Yeah.
She was the best part of that show, in my opinion. So this is kind of like ramping up my interest. We have...
Did she ever have ties to Mephisto, or was that just a theory?
No, she does.
Okay.
I mean, she's a witch, so like...
Nah, yeah, she does.
We mentioned Marvel Zombies. Secret Invasion is going to be a live-action show,
This
which is interesting.
This actually looks, this looks kind of cool.
We got our live-action shot of Sam Jackson, and also confirmation that Ben Mendelsohn, who was the Skrull that we've seen in Captain Marvel,
Are you mad about that?
the one with the lisp, who drives me nuts. It's not his fault. He's a great actor.
Yeah.
Seriously, he doesn't bother me, but
The lisp kind of bothers you.
it's just noticeable. That's it. Now we get to the slightly more exciting stuff. I'm a little more excited about Miss Marvel than you are,
Really?
except this teaser does not look.
It looks like a CW show geared towards teenage girls. I'm not gonna lie. There's no problem with that, but it doesn't look like it's for me.
It looks like a PJ Masks cosplay.
Yeah. It really looks like it's geared towards teenage girls. I think it's gonna.
That's fine.
As those CW shows are, like all the fans with the Arrowverse and the Flashverse with CW. I feel like a lot of them are younger, which is cool, but
It was such a weird time in my life when I decided I was going to try and watch those.
Yeah, and you're just like, no, this ain't
It's just
working.
like, oh, this is such a slog.
Yeah, it reminded me of that though, and maybe it's going to be good, but I'm really not looking forward to this.
Fair enough. That's your opinion. I like the character, and I like that it's kind of like more of a street level, New Jersey
Yeah,
girl who can kind of take care of local crime, but also gets called up to the big leagues. The most recent Avengers game focused around Kamala Khan. Sorry, Kamala Khan,
dude.
who is Miss Marvel. Jesus, that's not as bad as yours when you thought I was talking about Greta Thunberg and it was Greta Gerwig.
What we were talking about, like the climate stuff.
No, we weren't. We were talking about a movie, and I said this is directed by Greta Gerwig, and you were like, "What, the climate girl?" Fucking idiot. All right. The one I'm second most excited for
It's
is
an honest
She-Hulk.
mistake, dude.
Okay, sure. She-Hulk. So we saw Tatiana Maslany as the giant green Jessica Walters. I love this character. I love that it's more campy. It doesn't take itself super seriously, but it does have those serious moments. You're probably going to see the actual Hulk in there, Bruce Banner. I'm really excited to see. Then they did the logo like a court procedural, like CSI or whatever. I think this is going to be incredible.
Your top 3, go
Top 3 what?
of everything
Of all this?
they
Well, I got
announced.
one more that we should probably talk about. Moon
Okay.
Knight.
Oh,
Moon
yeah.
Knight is the one that I'm most excited for. Oscar Isaac in this is just running around a museum like he's a crazy person and then just beating the fuck out of somebody.
Yeah.
That's all it is. All of these teasers were only like 12, 15 seconds.
Can you give a little background on the Moon Knight character?
Moon Knight is Mark Spector, a.k.a. a crazy person. He is, I believe, in the Sudan, and he's in the military, and something happens, and he's gravely injured, and he falls into like this tomb, and he meets an ancient Egyptian god, Khonshu, who gives him this power, but you don't really know if he has the power because he's also got a split personality and he's crazy. So he goes through this, like he goes back home to New York and he's a street level hero who beats the shit out of bad guys, but also he talks to this Egyptian god. He's a crazy person.
Does he get any like sorcerer type powers or magical powers?
Not really.
Okay.
He's more like the Punisher.
From a DC standpoint, I instantly thought Dr. Fate, like that tomb origin story type of thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he
that
just
tracks.
beats the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dr. Fate doesn't really beat the shit out of people. He's more magic.
No, he'll choke you with just air.
Moon Knight's just like, this is going to be like old school Daredevil in the hallway where they beat the fuck out of somebody.
Nice.
And they really let you focus on him like wailing on somebody.
Yeah.
That was uncomfortable.
Do you think this could have done better as a movie? Well, we don't know that
I guess
yet.
we'll see.
We'll see, yeah.
Well, we will see.
But Oscar Isaac, I just think of big screen.
Oh shit! There's one more thing I forgot to mention that was also announced. I sent you this too. We're getting more X-Men '97.
Oh, yeah.
The animated version. I am very excited for this. To be perfectly honest, I do not remember where the series left off.
I actually have never completed. I've watched a few episodes. I was too young, though.
It started to get really weird because Morph comes back, and it's I don't know. They'll have better writers. They'll have better stories. This will be better.
Cleaner animation.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much a layup that we're going to have that.
But it's going to be a 2D animation similar to what we had before,
yes,
right?
Yeah, and they have a little screen grab of it kind of that shows, it's like really clean lines, but the same sort of character design. So very excited for that. But
Now top
Here's
3.
some money. Go see a Star Wars.
Moon Knight.
Yes, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, X-Men.
Okay. I would say Moon Knight, that scroll show. I don't know why.
Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Have you read the comics?
I've not read the Secret War comics. I have them, actually.
You can kinda skip
I have a
them.
trade.
They're fine.
And then I honestly think Baymax. I don't know.
I just thought it didn't look like what he's doing doesn't look that interesting.
It was a very teasery trailer, though. It was like 20 seconds of just trying to be funny, and then it was done.
I guess. Okay. I played the recommendation drop, so why don't you go ahead and tell me what you've been doing this week?
I'm gonna go ahead and recommend. Oh, what was I gonna recommend? You go first.
All right. Well, I've
Go
still been
first.
watching Succession, and I just want to talk about this show mostly. So I'm like 7 episodes in.
Uh-oh.
At what point does it get to the juncture where you don't hate every character?
Never.
So what's the point? Like, how do you like this show?
It's just very dramatic, and the character, like Greg and what's his name, Dude,
Tom?
Greg and Tom. There's just certain.
He says some really
relations.
fucked up shit to that kid.
Dude, if you don't enjoy that, then I don't know if I could keep recommending this to you. I think that shit's hilarious because
It's
I'm just an
weird.
asshole.
And I
Just
feel
like,
bad for that kid, even though I know he's a dirtbag too.
Yeah.
But I just got through the. All right, I don't think this will spoil us. The vote of no confidence, and
Okay.
just like it was really fucking unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how any of that shit works, and it kind of brought me out of it a little bit. But I enjoy the way it's acted. I can't say I enjoy the way that it's shot because it's still somebody who looks like they're hammered
And
trying
they,
to
like,
hold a
zoom
camera.
in real quick on when they want to say
It's
something.
so dramatic too.
Yeah.
So fucking dramatic over something that nobody should really give a shit about. It's look, I like it. I enjoy it. Obviously, I'm still
Yeah.
watching it, so I can't talk too much shit.
Yeah.
I just kind of want to get through it and get caught up and see what happens.
Just finish the season and make your decision. I think I said that to you last time because it does leave you on a cliffhanger where you're like, wow, that's really fucked
Shit.
up.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
You got to finish the season. You're already too far deep in it.
Apparently.
That's what she said. I'm gonna recommend. I just remembered. I was scrolling through Disney Plus because I know they had that Disney Plus Day or whatever. They, I believe, just released this documentary. I'll call it. It's called "Under the Helmet: The Legacy of Boba Fett," and it's 30 minutes. I think it's a pretty quick watch. But even as a Star Wars fan, I was curious to know more about this character, getting ready for the show that's about to come out. It gives you some good
Did you
back.
say as a Star Wars fan?
Did I say I meant as not a Star Wars fan?
Okay. I was like, where are you going with this?
Not
All right,
being a
continue.
Star Wars fan. That's
All
what I meant to say.
All right. Fair enough.
They give you good background on how the character really got popular within pop culture, how they created it, thought of the suit design, how it came to be, essentially, how the
Okay.
character came to be, and the different people that played that character. Because I think there was Boba Fett was like a child in the
Well, he's the
Clone
clones.
Wars or whatever.
So Jango Fett was his father. He was a bounty hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're all Mandalorians.
yeah,
But yeah, that was the prototype for the clones.
Yeah.
That were made into stormtroopers.
they were talking about the first appearances, and the first appearance technically was the like Christmas special they
Yeah.
had. It was a
Nobody-
cartoon.
Nobody ever talks about that.
Nobody talks about it. Technically, the first appearance though was, I believe, this parade that was in, I think, where George Lucas lived or where he used to live in California, and nobody had ever seen Boba Fett before, and they had Boba Fett, well, this person in the full on-set Boba Fett costume walking down this parade with Darth Vader, just them two. And like Boba Fett was a hit. Like people were like, "Who the fuck is this guy right here?" Taking pictures. But imagine like being in the 70s, like a kid like that at this parade.
You don't know about it though because you don't have the internet.
Yeah. Well, they have footage because they show that in the documentary. But it's just kind of it's unlike anything that we'd ever experience nowadays. Like usually the first appearance, if it's not in a show or a movie or a comic book, it's like when you go to Target and they like create
It's a
the action
toy,
figure.
yeah.
It was just funny how they had this parade and decided to actually bring the on-set costume and have this guy walk the parade.
That's
Be like,
interesting.
Yeah.
Disney kind of pulled out all the stops. I mean, they put Shang-Chi on there. They put Jungle Cruise on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
They put out Disney Simpsons special. It's like 6 minutes. They
Yeah.
did a bunch of like shorts and shit like that.
I saw that.
So yeah, I mean, good for them.
I'm gonna watch Jungle Cruise, I think, in the next couple days.
Did you not do the episode with us?
No.
Okay.
I thought
was
Brick
fine.
was the only one that watched it.
No, I watched it.
That wasn't a 2-for episode.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I watched it. It was fine.
I'm gonna take a
Anyways,
piss and grab a beer real quick.
fair enough.
What's the next segment?
I'm going to transition into our draft segment now. So somehow Mark won last week. I don't really get it. But I don't really get a lot of things, and that's fine. Last week was our... it was How Are You Still Alive? It was How Are You Still Alive characters. And also, I got to take this moment. I was really hoping that Rick was going to be here this episode because I do have to put him on blast because he is out here campaigning for votes in other Discord channels. And I got to say, man, if you can't win on the merits of your own picks, you probably shouldn't be winning in the first place. But what's good now, well, good for you, probably not very good for me, but I think we're all tied at 3 wins apiece now. And if you don't remember, the bet is that the first to 5 total overall wins gets to make the other 2 idiots watch a terrible movie, which will probably be something by M. Night Shyamalan or something similar, maybe Clifford the Big Red Dog. I don't know. And I think we're going to throw something else in there like, I don't know, really hot chicken wings or something like that. We'll just make a video out of it. Anyways, Mark won last week, so he's going to get to pick the order. We talked about it briefly beforehand, and it's a little different because Brick obviously is not here. We will still have his picks. He sent them in to me, and I will steal it if he has any good ones, but he won't. So I think that, Mark, what we decided was Brick would go first, I would go second, and you would go third.
Correct.
Okay. So Brick, and I have all of the proof here, so like he's not going to be able to dispute it because he's definitely, when he loses, he'll come to me and say, well, you did it all wrong.
Yeah. And also about winning last week, I must say, the last 2 weeks, I was probably the least confident about my picks. And it just goes to show that even going into these, if you're like, that probably wasn't my best week of draft, you never know. And even in the Discord,
Sunday.
Even in the Discord, they're like, Mark, did you mean to botch this? Did you purposely throw this one? And I won that week. And it was just like, and I'm not doing anything funny like Brick, like texting our fantasy group, yo, vote for me. Brick, we're watching you, dude. We're watching.
I already mentioned that, and what a dirtbag he is. Love you, Brick, you dirtbag. Yeah, I am the only one who doesn't have like another Twitter account, or I'm not out here like scrounging up votes. Anyways,
also I think I'm pretty sure we're all tied right now. Did you mention that?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
With that, in honor of having a Rock movie this week, which is really important, you got to have the Rock in your life. It's like vitamin D. You got to get that vitamin D every now and then. So we're gonna pick the team of the coolest characters that The Rock has played.
Okay, sure.
Well, don't sure me because this was your idea.
Yeah, I just that makes sense. It's not
I wanted to say The Rock's character, draft your team, and like all 3 teams would go to battle. Show me who wins.
Yeah, I feel like that's usually our default move, though. It's always about like fighting who's the strongest.
So.
Yeah,
I mean, what else does The Rock do?
We can get.
We're not going to have a dance off.
Let's just pick the draft.
Although he did have some moves in this film.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, Brick has pick 1-1, and he's picking Hercules for some reason.
Does he know we're not doing the battle thing? I mean, The Rock
no
has
comment?
a lot of...
I don't know.
All right, sure.
Okay, let's just say
we're not doing that though. Because,
but if we were,
yeah,
who would your first pick be?
Scorpion King, right? Wasn't there like only one type of blade or something that could kill Scorpion King?
Yeah, but he still got killed by Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, that's true.
If Brendan Fraser can take you out, you're not that big of a badass.
It's hard to think of on the spot because I didn't think about this. That was not where my mind was when I was drafting these.
Also, you'd have to argue about like
definitely the Gridiron Gang coach.
Hobbs is definitely invincible.
Just resilient, yeah.
Just completely indestructible.
Anyone in Fast and Furious movies are pretty much, besides Han. Well, we won't spoil it.
Yeah, never mind. Anyways, yeah, his first pick is Hercules for some reason. I don't know.
Okay, great pick.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Hobbs because he flexed his arm out of a fucking cast at one point.
That's an easy first pick.
He's literally watching the Hulk in his bed and just flexes his arm out of it. And look, I'm the car guy. I deserve to get him anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
I just once, though, I want to see them shove him in like a Mazda Miata.
Yeah.
I'm tired of him driving big-ass trucks and stuff. Put him in a fucking Miata.
I'm not going to argue that pick. That was my number 1 pick is Hobbs, and I think it was the clear number 1 pick, and I'm so surprised Brick didn't put that as number 1.
There's also a decent scene in this upcoming movie. It's not a spoiler, but it is funny, so I want to throw it out there because I want people to watch this movie.
Yeah.
You think there's about to be a big car chase in this movie with The Rock, and he gets into a brand new Porsche Taycan, and immediately just wrecks it, and there is no car chase. Like, they cranked up the Beastie Boys Sabotage and just cut it off like record scratch after 5 seconds, and you're just like, fuck. I really wanted to see that car chase. Anyways, Mark, your first and second pick.
God. These
What?
have become
Why
really
is it so hard for you?
I'm just like, when you think about it, now I'm thinking about it like, should I make this my pick? Because I went to I just thought you guys were going to pick up some of these guys, but now witnessing Brick's first pick, I'm like, he probably didn't even think of this guy. All right, I'm going to go first pick Maui from Moana.
That was on my list.
Nolan, even though he'll probably never see this episode, that is his one movie now. Like the soundtrack, and the soundtrack just slaps too. I think it's one of the best Disney soundtracks out there. And I would be remiss if I didn't put that as my first. So Maui from Moana. Number 2, thinking of just ass kicking, and I'm going back to the roots of The Rock when he first really started coming up. I'm pretty sure this movie was right after Scorpion King, or maybe it was before, but Back from the Rundown with Stifler.
Wow. Okay. That's not what I expected there, but
Okay.
that's a decent pick.
Yeah.
The problem is, so that came out right after Scorpion King. That's 03. Scorpion King was 02. So he had done like 3
Yeah.
whatever, the Mummy movies at that point. But what you're missing out of that is how much better he was in Walking Tall.
You think so? I disagree.
It's leaps and bounds better.
I think he kicked way more ass in...
I don't even know how you can say that. He goes into a casino and beats the fuck out of everyone in the casino.
I think there were scenes in the Rundown where he did very similar things. He goes to the jungle and just runs through fucking like a militia, doesn't he? Trying to get Stifler.
I guess. No, dude. Walking Tall is...
Honestly, they're both very similar. Like,
They
you put
are.
them side by side, they're like, what movie is this one from?
I mean,
You'd be
look at
know.
the time. Okay, so this was 20 years ago. He's coming out of wrestling, trying to make a career for himself in acting. He's an action star. What else is he going to do? He's going to do all the movies that are exactly the fucking same, and he still does them. He does all of these movies that are in a jungle where he's wearing the white shirt that he sweats through, and you can see his titties.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
So... with that, we will get to Brick's next 2 picks. He is going to pick. I'm sorry, I need to look up the name of this character because I know the movie, but I don't know the name. He is Dr. Xander Bravestone from Jumanji.
Smolder Bravestone, I think.
Smolder Bravestone is his nickname, and that's actually a pretty decent pick.
It's a good pick.
Definitely better than Hercules.
Yes, agree.
So... from there,
So based on that pick, it sounds like he wasn't under the impression that this was a battle. Because
it doesn't. No, I don't think so.
Okay. That makes
Although
sense.
he does kind of kick some ass.
Yeah.
Except he's allergic. No, wait, that was Kevin Hart who was allergic to cake, right?
Yeah. He doesn't really kick that much ass. He makes he punches a guy and he's like, oh my God, I can hit this guy like
No,
this.
there's that scene in like the market in the town where he beats the shit out of a lot of
Okay.
people, throws one guy up in the
Yeah.
air really high.
All right.
Anyways, he didn't really give me an order for some of these, so I'm just going to keep going.
He didn't list them in order? I mean, he had to list them in order. Go off that order.
Have you seen Brick's messages?
I don't know how he would give you a list that's not in order. Like,
So
you have
he
to.
actually sent me 1, 2, 3, 4. He sent me 4 before saying Hercules is my number 1 pick, though.
But Hercules was like last.
Yes. So we'll just keep going.
All right.
His next pick will be Agent 23 from Get Smart.
Okay.
And to be honest, I fucking love this movie. I think it's hilarious.
I have not watched the whole movie, so that was not going to be one of my picks.
It's actually super good.
Mm-hmm.
You should watch it. It's really funny and well done. This was peak. So The Rock transitioned from super action star to like, all these other movies like The Tooth Fairy and The Game Plan and all that shit, and just doing like silly shit.
Yeah.
Because it was him and Vin Diesel at the time, which is ironic. Remember Vin Diesel did The Pacifier where he was a babysitter who was
Yes.
like ex-special ops?
How could you forget?
And there's like a whole genre of these where Mr. Nanny or what was it with Hulk Hogan? It doesn't matter.
There was a Hulk Hogan movie as a nanny.
Mr. Mom, I think.
I know he was in a Three Ninjas reboot. Yeah, where they went to the
I'm gonna have to
carnival.
look into that. There's a lot of shit that I apparently just don't remember, but
Maybe that was it was Hulk Hogan for sure.
Okay.
All right, next one, Brick. Right? He has one more.
No, those were his 2.
Wait, what was it? Smolder Bravestone and Agent whatever. Okay.
Yes. So my next pick is going to be. I'm just gonna go with Scorpion King.
Okay.
That's just a cool ass role.
Okay.
He had that big sandstorm. This was like before he was
Yeah.
Uber Rock.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's too deep of a value to pick in the 3rd round for me to not select it.
That helps my list because for the most part, 3 of my picks on my list have been taken by you guys. Makes it an easy.
To be honest, this is probably the most narrow field of selections that we've ever picked for a draft.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. But yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to go.
These are your last 2.
Last 2, I'm going to go Christopher Danson from The Other Guys. While he was only in the movie for about 10 minutes or not even, just the charisma and just being the ultimate badass and being so confident to jump right off that building thinking they were going to make it. It's just, I don't know. There's
Aim for the bushes.
Honestly,
Aim
that
for
might
the
be one of the
bushes.
greatest intros to any comedy I think out there. When they're getting interviewed, like when he's just like, but yes, I did. Or whatever he said when they're asking if he's dating or fucking that one.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment. But yes.
But yes.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
love that character, even though we see very little. What they should do is do a prequel to that movie where it's
just him and Sam
them
Jackson.
two.
That'd be incredible.
That would be amazing.
All right, last pick, Mark.
Last pick. I'm going to say Paul Doyle from Pain and Gain.
He was such a bitch.
He was a bitch, but it wasn't the typical Rock character, but I think he played him so well where he was just this bodybuilding junkie that was doing a bunch of cocaine. Very funny parts. Some of them were really memorable for me. If you haven't seen that movie, I would recommend it. I think that movie it doesn't get bashed on, but a lot of people haven't seen that movie because they don't think they'd like it. But I did enjoy Pain and Gain, and I'm just going to go with the character he played.
See, I'm left with like nothing because I don't want to.
Like, do you want to go Skyscraper Rock because he
No.
was jumping buildings and shit? Like, oh,
No,
cool.
that's terrible.
Maybe
So,
Rampage Rock?
honestly, I think instead I'm going to go with the game plan, Joe Kingman. Because when it comes down to it, there's nothing cooler than being a good father.
What about leading a prison football team to victory and overseeing their differences and things like that?
If you liked him so much, why didn't you pick that?
I don't know.
All right. I have to pick one more for Brick now because all of his have been picked. Yeah, so
You
all
have
of
to pick one for Brick?
he didn't send me enough.
He only sent you 6?
We're going to give him the Tooth Fairy.
All right.
And frankly, I don't think that's a bad pick. Because
should I try calling him right now?
go
Let me just
for it.
call him.
I don't think he's going to answer, but
Let me call him.
and also if you do call him and he actually answers for some ungodly reason, he'll just give you like 6 that we already named.
Yeah. We'll see.
But this makes for really good live content, by the way.
Are you being sarcastic?
Yes.
Okay. Well, don't worry.
But it does give me time to pull up our next drop, so. God damn it.
Oh, I thought it was him picking up.
No,
Damn it.
he's deep in Battlefield right now.
He's so deep in Battlefield.
Never going to answer your phone call.
He never does.
That's
Shame.
all right.
Last ring. All right. Fine. Tooth Fairy. Sorry, Brick. We tried. I went out of my way.
Truly, there is visual evidence. We tried. So
How about, hold on, one more second. How about, actually, all mine were taken too. I don't have another one. All right, yeah, sure. Tooth Fairy.
well, why don't you give me like you didn't have any honorable mentions? You don't want to talk about any.
I
What
had
about
7, and all of them were taken. I had to go to my last 7, Paul Doyle.
you ever seen Drive or the
I have
Drive,
not seen Drive.
Driver,
Yes.
where
I have
he's the
not seen
driver?
it.
Honestly, it's not terrible.
I'm sure there's a list.
I gotta go change something real quick. Keep
Okay.
talking.
I have not seen Driver, but there's got to be a list of other Rock characters. How about should we just give him Jungle Cruise? I mean, he enjoyed Jungle Cruise, Rock.
He didn't answer his phone.
Okay.
You got to answer your phone if you want a good pick. You got to answer your phone or actually show up to the episode, which usually helps.
Okay, fine.
All right.
Snoozy lose.
I have to agree with that. Are we ready to move on?
Yes. The Tooth Fairy.
I think there's a drop on there.
Are we doing movie right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't turn that up loud enough and I can't hear it. Anyways, we are... And I actually...
Hold on. Sorry. I think Brick would have wanted the coach from Gridiron Gang. Just knowing Brick, I think he would have wanted
Now you're
that.
worried about Brick.
We'll give him the option. He either has the option of Tooth Fairy or the Gridiron Gang coach.
You were going to be such a pushover as a dad.
Just give him a chance. Give him a chance.
No.
Because, I mean, he's lost the last couple of weeks. I feel
We're all
bad for him.
tied. It's not like somebody's getting smoked in all this.
There's no chance he'll ever end up winning 5, but still, we got to give him a chance.
Azrael in the chat says give him Elliot from Be Cool. I've never seen that movie,
I
so
saw
I can't
the trailer
speak to
for it, and I didn't obviously watch that movie. I know what you're talking about.
So obviously we're doing our draft of the Rock characters because we have a Rock movie this week.
Yeah.
And this movie is Red Notice on Netflix. Dropped yesterday, Friday, what is that, November 12th?
Mm-hmm.
Currently at 39% on Rotten
Brutal.
Tomatoes.
That's brutal.
92% from fans.
Let's go.
Which tells
Let's
you that the
go.
people understand
The Rock.
what this movie was. This is the definition of a popcorn flick, and it's not even close, really. This is a movie that is self-referential. It's self-effacing. It makes fun of itself.
You have Ryan Reynolds saying the back of Rock's head looks like a penis in this. So, like, I don't know what you people are looking for, but it's in this movie.
Agreed. And it's kind of a heist movie, but it's also kind of not a heist movie. It's definitely not a traditional heist movie.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, I kind of fucking loved it.
I did like it a lot. I did.
There's something about
Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot.
There's something
The
about
Rock.
knowing that every trope from a heist movie is going to be hit.
Yeah.
Knowing like you get the Wilhelm scream in the first 5 minutes, you get the double crosses that come throughout the entire movie.
There's like 4 of them.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's like septuple crosses at this point.
I know, but it still keeps you engaged. It keeps you wanting more. You don't like get sick of it to the point where it's like, all right, this is becoming too ridiculous. It is ridiculous, but it's still a fun time. Yeah.
Couldn't agree
liked
more.
it a lot.
So this was directed by a guy named Rawson Marshall Thurber. He also did Skyscraper. I got to say, this is much
better.
of a step up over Skyscraper.
Also, because you don't have to go to it. It did release in theaters a couple days prior to Netflix, but you don't have to go to theaters to watch this. Like
No,
you did
definitely
with
watch
Skyscraper.
this at home. Turn it up really loud. I will definitely say that. But let's just kind of go through the basics here. So The Rock is, you're introduced to The Rock as an FBI character who does like personality profiles.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been following Ryan Reynolds, who is this art thief, supposedly like one of the best art thieves in the world. But they are also, obviously, if you've seen the trailer or any of the promo for this, they run into Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot.
Is it Gadot? I
it's
always say
Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
I think when I don't fucking know.
Just say Gal Gadot.
We're just not cultured enough to know the right answers to these things.
Whatever. Sorry.
Anyway, she's also a thief. There's some other weirdos in there. Man, Chris Diamantopoulos. Chris Diamantopoulos is Soto Voce, the
guy-
arms dealer. What the fuck was wrong with his voice?
The guy from Silicon Valley. Oh my!
This guy fucks.
That is the one thing about this movie I just couldn't wrap my head around. I'm like, I can't get past this guy trying to be a serious like villainous type character. Just can't. Knowing his character in Silicon Valley, impossible.
All right, let's keep going through some of the basics on this. Did you know this was originally slated for a theatrical release?
I believe it.
This was a Universal film that Netflix bought in July of 2019. It did release on a limited basis November 5th, but I think most people are actually just going to see this.
Yeah,
on
I
Netflix.
could see it having a decent sized budget with the amount of. I mean, they go through various cities
We
and
know
there's
the budget.
chases and go ahead.
It was a $200 million budget.
Wow.
This movie did not look like it cost $200 million
Yeah.
to make.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a factor of this movie being made a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But the effects are not good enough to warrant that.
Do you think the majority of that budget went to your stars in this?
Probably. There are some pretty extravagant locations. They go to the jungle a few times. They have some really big mansions and shit like that. So
I do think if you didn't have the cast you did in this, I don't think it would not have worked as well as it did. I think this was an unexpected. It was unexpected that they had as much. The Rock and Gal Gadot, the chemistry there was kind of like you had to. I don't know. It was hard to get around. But Ryan Reynolds in anything can, I feel like, just bring anybody together.
I'm trying to think of like a low budget cast that would work in this, and I'm coming up empty. I'll have to think about that. Okay. The plot of this movie. There are 3 golden eggs that were reportedly, or I guess historically, owned by Cleopatra. It was like they give you the whole story of Mark Antony and Cleopatra and her 3 eggs, and how one of them has been missing for 2,000 years. Anyways, they're going around and stealing eggs. Mm-hmm. I don't really know that we need to get more deep into the plot than that, because the plot doesn't really matter. It's a ridiculous movie. It's a dumb heist that makes 0 sense. Everyone should have died a dozen times. And all of that said, I still really enjoyed this fucking movie.
I think you also have to note that Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot's character, they go at it because they see themselves as the best thief in the world, pretty much. And I mean, they're the ones after these eggs.
Gal is definitely better than him.
Yeah. But this one definitely worked for whatever reason. And I do think it was attributable to the cast mainly.
I didn't care that both of The Rock's and Ryan Reynolds' alcohols made an appearance in this. I didn't care that they were drinking aviation gin.
It's funny you mentioned that, because when they go to Ryan Reynolds' penthouse in Bali, yes, aviation gin is sitting there on his countertop and they're all drinking it. Where was Terramana or whatever tequila?
It's tequila, right? It was like almost the next scene. So where the Interpol agent confronts The Rock, he's drinking that Reposado tequila.
In the bottles somewhere? Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that.
So I was just like on high alert because I saw the first one. I was like,
they're not just going to use Ryan Reynolds.
You can't.
Liquor. They have to use The Rock's.
Also, they do make a joke about Vin Diesel's audition tape for Cats. Mm-hmm. And that had to be The Rock trying to get like a jab in at Vin Diesel.
That happened?
I don't know, but it's somebody making fun of Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something The Rock would want to do. Did you see that Vin Diesel was like, yo, please, The Rock, come back and do Fast and Furious?
I mean, seriously.
We're family.
You have to come back.
You got to. Dude, if Dom Toretto asks you.
Don't do it for Vin Diesel. Do it for the fans. Do it for us.
Me. Do it for me,
Please.
Dwayne. I love you. I would take a bullet for you, Dwayne.
God.
I love you. All right. What didn't you like about this?
I think it was the Silicon Valley villain guy.
That's it?
That guy sucked.
Why did he talked like Voldemort?
Yeah. Didn't work.
With a British accent? It was very stupid.
It was too much.
Sotto voce.
I mean, if this is a critique, it's very predictable, but it also makes fun of itself. Like, they're doing that on purpose. Like, all the double crossing. The one person that is after this egg too is going to eventually show up to the scene. There's multiple scenes where it's either The Rock and Ryan Reynolds trying to get the egg, or it's Gal Gadot. Like, one or the other is going to show up, if not the FBI agent in the beginning.
So it sounds more as though you're upset that it's predictable than...
Yeah, but you can't be mad at that, because I think they were doing that on purpose.
It is a heist movie, and heist movies have to be predictable.
Yes, it's just like... But at the same time, it was a little unpredictable at the end. If we want to spoil it, but I don't know.
I don't think we want to.
Okay.
I think we got to give people time to watch this. This is absolutely worth a watch, and I'll just go ahead and throw my rating out there now. I say see it. My wife watched it. She enjoyed it. She does not typically care for this type of movie, but when you have the charm of The Rock and Ryan Reynolds, and they have great chemistry. They can play off each other extremely well. And I don't think that's a surprise to literally anyone. Mm-hmm. I didn't really care that much about Gal Gadot's character. She's kind of just like a Mary Sue that just is great at everything and knows everything before it happens. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not enough to take you out of this movie. You know what you're getting into. This is a dumb heist movie with action stars on Netflix. It's not some sort of Oscar contender. It's not going to blow you away. The visuals aren't great, but it's 2 hours where you will sit down, forget about your dumb mortgage and your boss who you hate, and you'll watch them try to steal Cleopatra's egg.
There's a lot of scenes that they remind us of how good looking Gal Gadot is.
They really
we needed to be reminded, but yeah, they lean into that a lot, which is absolutely fine with me.
Well, it's like her using her feminine wiles to do get what she wants.
Yeah, no, I appreciated her in this movie. I thought yes, the chemistry was brought together mainly. I think just having Ryan Reynolds in there, it's hard to have somebody next to Ryan Reynolds where he isn't able to feed off them a little bit with his quirkiness or whatever you want to call it, or wittiness.
Who's the alpha?
Who's the alpha out of all three of them? Based on this movie, I think you got to say Gal Gadot, honestly.
I think it's The Rock.
I think, she plays...
I'm not talking about the characters. I'm talking about them as people.
Yeah.
I think when the three of them walk in the room...
Oh, it's The Rock.
Yeah. I think it's The Rock.
It's The Rock. The Rock has literally taken one of the biggest franchises across the world and said, you know what? People fucking love me. I'm going to get my own movie. And he made it work. I'm speaking specifically to Fast and Furious.
That's fair.
That's the biggest franchise.
They did the only spin-off movie of that with his character.
Yes.
So that makes sense.
I mean, he is the guy, if you're ever in doubt of somebody that can take something where you thought it was too big and make it his own, he can do that. It's The Rock.
I got really mad when they got in a car that supposedly hadn't been running in the last 90 years and just drove away in it.
That was kind of stupid.
That kind of bugged me.
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, there's a scene with a Nazi-era vehicle.
It's an old Mercedes. It's 1930s Mercedes. And it was like a tank. Mm-hmm. Like it had, 3/4-inch steel all around it because it was Hitler's car. And eventually, it's been sitting in this bunker forever, and they just drive it away, like the engine wouldn't be completely locked up. And it's look, you're not doing this, you're not watching this movie because you want it to be scientifically accurate or whatever. Mm-hmm. You're watching this because you want to watch shit blow up, which it does.
Shut your brain off.
You watch some of the choreography, which I want to talk to you about, and just like you watch people beat the shit out of other people, they do a really good, this is very much the dance between protagonist and antagonist. I'm thinking specifically to one of the opening scenes with Ryan Reynolds on the scaffolding. Mm-hmm. That was really well done.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it's super unrealistic, but also who gives a shit? The way he's making people fall and doing all the right things and fighting with sweaters, the choreography for this was excellent.
It was good. It was believable. Sometimes it gets to the point where you're like, that's impossible.
And it wasn't all shaky cam, although it wasn't the most stable cam. It was passable.
Yeah.
And for a movie with a $200 million budget, it better be.
I will say, though, for the weirdos out there that they just can't get past Ryan Reynolds being so charming and his type of humor. If you don't like Ryan Reynolds and who he is in movies, this is typical Ryan Reynolds. You're not going to get anything else. You won't like this.
No.
There are those people out there, and I don't understand you. But yes, this is A+ Ryan Reynolds in this movie. Him just nonstop making joke after joke.
Do you think he looks like he's getting a little bit older?
I think so, yeah.
It's okay. I mean, he's like Silver Fox range now. I mean, he's got to be in his 50s.
Should celebrities not be getting older?
No,
should we be in that
I think
age?
it's good to see, but he's still out there doing movies like this where he kicks the shit out of people. So
he's still as fucking hilarious as always.
He's going to be just like Liam Neeson or whoever, and it's Sylvester Stallone who's still making movies when they're 80.
Yeah.
Just pumped to the gills on TRT.
I wonder if Ryan Reynolds actually has a lot to say within the script. When they're... I wonder if he goes off the cuff a lot. Because you see him in interviews, and a lot of how he is in movies is how he is in real life. He makes little comment after comment when he's getting interviewed.
That's like his brand.
I know. I wonder if they write that in, or if they have him write it in, or if they're on set and he actually just says something out of the blue, and they're like, "Oh, that was actually fucking funny."
I wonder what the percentage is. It's probably 60-40 written versus improv.
I just say that because there's nothing in this movie where I felt like Ryan Reynolds was trying to force not being himself.
No, and
Felt
that's
like
the
his
thing. That's
authentic
probably why
Reynolds.
this was so easy for them to do and pull off, is because you just write the character for whoever they are.
Yes, yeah.
So I don't really have much else to say about this. I thought it was really well done. The soundtrack is pretty good. There's some good music in there. Look, just turn your brain off and watch it. You will know when you watch a trailer or hear us talk about it or talk about the premise or even see who's in it. You will know if this appeals to you or not. If it appeals to you and you think you will like it, you will like it.
You will
see it.
You will know that whenever there's a movie with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds, and yes, Gal Gadot, that's just a plus.
It's
but
probably
thank
going to be
God,
incredible.
we're going to say see it.
Yeah.
And this is a see it for me, too.
Look, we're nothing if not consistent.
We were very consistent.
Bad at drafting.
Yeah.
Love The Rock.
Snyder fans hate
Nothing
us.
else. Well, yeah, that too. So I think that's probably going to wrap up our episode this week, episode 271. Again, sorry Brick wasn't here. I think that he probably loved this movie, so I'm just going to go ahead and say that he said see it.
I think so, too. Yeah.
Shit blows up. They drive fast cars, and there's helicopters and guns. I don't know. What else are we working on lately? Are you ready to share what you're going to be doing next?
Well, are you talking about Twitch?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know what you're talking about. Well, first thing, I just released a mini room tour, I'm calling it. I have about 100 square foot space, which is my office / nerd cave. And I just kind of went through every part of that room and all the collectibles I have and things of that nature. So check that out. That's on YouTube. I've always wanted to do that, and I've gotten it to the point where I'm semi-satisfied with how it looked. So I shot a video. Also, Ryan, thank you for finally starting to stream, and I hope you continue it. But
I don't know if anybody gives a shit.
I think I saw an article the other day about Twitch streaming, and it was very depressing reading it because I knew this in the back of my mind, but I'm like, I wonder if the headline is actually what they talk about. And yes, it was. It was basically saying that the overwhelming majority of Twitch streamers, they stream because there's a couple of reasons. They just want to record it, but the overwhelming majority have 0 to maybe 1 person watch their stream.
Like two viewers at any given time is like the average.
It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
the variance between like the big guys versus the little guys. There's really no in between. It's like you have so many of these guys that are only getting like 1 to 2 viewers. But regardless, I mean, it is fun to just do. I mean, you're gaming anyways. You can record clips off of it. You can go back and rewatch it. And then if you have 1 or 2 guys talking to you about what you love in the game or what you like about the game, I mean, that's always a plus.
I enjoyed it. I would love to keep doing it.
Yeah.
If anybody's interested, please show up. That's it.
Yeah, you should keep doing it. So Smithers is streaming Forza 5. I think I'm going to, moving forward, start streaming some Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain. I've never finished that installment of the series, and growing up, that was the one franchise I was in love with, was Metal Gear Solid. So I'm going to start streaming that, talking about it, hopefully on Twitch in the upcoming weeks. And C2E2, we just got approved for press. We'll be at C2E2.
Well, you did.
We're fine. We're fine. They're watching this right now just like, oh, you're so confident? No way.
Nope. Fuck that other guy.
We're both going to be there regardless for at least 1 day, most likely 2. I don't think 3. But go get your tickets to C2E2. We'll see you there. That's in that's in December.
Yeah.
3rd or something, I think.
Second week of December?
Oh, no, December 10th.
I think
10th.
so. Yeah.
Go get your C2E2 tickets.
We're really on top of shit.
Come
I
hang
don't know.
out
I'm
with us.
employed. I'm unemployed. I don't know what you want from me. I'm clearly an idiot. I'm irresponsible. I can't even pass a background check.
Yeah. We'll be there Friday and Saturday. Probably not Sunday.
No, probably not.
Just a heads up.
But anyways, we appreciate y'all tuning in to episode 271 of the Chumpcast. As always, you can call or text us at 847-920-6107. We appreciate all of you who follow us on social media at the Chumpcast. We also have a Patreon if you want to come hang out there. We always appreciate that.
And a Discord. Our Discord pops off. I love our Discord.
I love our Discord as well. There's a lot of really weird shit that goes on in there, and I think it's mostly people who started out like, I don't know what Discord is, and I'm not going to like this, but then they just got sucked in.
And they're just there every day.
Every day.
They're just going to channels they probably didn't even think they would like, and they're in there. It's
and I'm
fun.
not mad about it either.
Yeah.
So, But anyways, we love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time.
Jumps out, motherfucker.